You're sick. You guys seen these yet? Have you guys got up close on these? Pretty cool. I'm gonna put it this way so it reads for you guys. This idea is supposed to say, "Why not you? Dream big." So.
What was the design process like for that?
It was cool. Obviously, to have my own Nike cleat, first of all, was pretty cool. And then to have Jeff, who's actually a Seattle guy, one of the best artists around here, does a lot of murals and stuff like that, a.k.a. Weirdo, he goes by. He painted these up, and I told him that I really wanted to, it's obviously for the Why Not You Foundation and helping young kids around the country, around the world. And I think one of the cool things is that I wanted to kind of, obviously, first of all, I think the slogan "Why Not You" has meant a lot to me. I think it's meant a lot to a lot of kids that I've been able to meet over time, and what we've been able to do for our foundation. The idea of dream big. Why not you dream big? So on the inside, it has anything is possible, and it has a diploma and stuff like that to represent kids getting their education and stuff. And then on this side, we had some fun. Just we put a rocket ship, there just to. You can go anywhere in the world kind of thing. And so I think for me, it's been cool just working with Weirdo, putting these together, painting them up, and talking about different designs, different looks. I love graffiti, ironically. You guys probably wouldn't know that about me. I just think it's always cool when I go to a city and I see graffiti. And just people's imaginations. And so anyways, he did a pretty good job with this one.
What do you like about graffiti?
I don't know. Whenever I was a young kid, growing up in Richmond, there was some graffiti at times in the city, and just whenever I go to cities, I'm always admiring graffiti in the sense of just how it looks. I just think how people, think, and sometimes obviously it's people trying to, mess up a location or whatever. But I think sometimes when people do murals and graffiti and how they paint and how their imagination works I think it's always fascinating.
Have you ever graffitied?
No, I've never done it myself. I'm not a good painter. That's why I admire it from a distance.
What would your tag be if you ever graffitied?
What would my tag be? Oh man, I don't know. Probably something in this vein. I like what he did with this. I told him I wanted to feel like a graffiti wall, and just how big the letters were and stuff. So I would have to have him do it for me.
What's different about this offense from the last time that you played the Rams? Because what's different from the offense from the last time you played the Rams?
Well, man, it was a long time ago, it feels like. I think for us, the last time we played the Rams, it was a tough game. It went down to the wire. I think our offense has continued to mold and continue to build. I think we've been able to run the ball extremely well. I think we've been explosive in the passing game and do some really cool things. So it's been exciting. I think it's been really cool for us and what we've been able to do and how we've been able to, play at a high level. The plethora of receivers that we have, guys making plays around. Last time we played them, we had Disley. He was making plays. Now we have Hollister, who's making a lot of plays for us. And the running backs have been really sharp for us, and obviously all the receivers doing all their things.
Play calls come in, from Shoddy, and those have been designed ahead of time. But when you've got Chris Carson and Rashad Penny going the way they are, what are you looking for to get the feel on who gets touches when and when to look for certain guys in the game?
Really, either one of them. I mean, both of them. I mean, it's the more each one of them touches the football, the better for us. I mean, they just really, whether it's catching it, running it, whatever it is, they're extremely good with the football in their hands in terms of getting upfield, making plays, making people miss. They're physical. They can run fast. So I think that's always cool. Just seeing, seeing them, process the game and how they've continued to develop it week in and week out, really for their careers. It's been an awesome thing to be a part of in the backfield with those guys and watch them just take off.
You and Tyler had so much success early in the season. He's always had a tough couple weeks with the leg bruise and then getting sick. And how much are you looking forward to the last 4 weeks of the season, getting back into a groove with him and him getting back to 100% out there?
Well, Tyler's a superstar. He's been one of the best receivers in the league this year. He had the leg bruise thing, which was a scary thing for all of us, especially for him. I just know him battling through that. He came back and battled through that in the Eagles game. He wasn't quite 100%, but he played in that game and just kind of fought through it. And then, unfortunately, last game we just ran the ball like crazy, and so. He didn't make the plays that we all want him to make and all that kind of stuff, and that we know that he can do. He'll get back into it, and we're excited about him getting back in that groove, us getting back in that groove. Anytime Tyler Lockett has the football in his hands, it's a good thing for the Seattle Seahawks, and so we want to make sure that we get the football in his hands.
With the My Cause, My Cleats, do you guys spend time kind of going through? Is there any time carved out where you guys can kind of, present, show and tell, like what the cleats are, what your cause is, and maybe the stories behind them, so you guys are all kind of aware of who you're playing for and what you're playing for on Sunday?
Yeah, they have. I think. Well, first of all, I think with the NFL, My Cause, My Cleats has been a great tradition over the past 3 years or so. It's about. It's been really cool just to see, guys and who they represent, what they want to represent, who they want to help, the people that they've may have lost, or the people they want to, help in the future. I think that's always really cool. So I think the cool part about us and as a team is we do a great job. The media team and everybody else do a great job of getting everybody together, getting their cleats together, and we get a list of different artists around and people who help. And then some guys have somebody they may know or whatever. And I think that design process and working together, other players asking, okay, what should I help with, or what should I do, or if they don't know. I think that's always a cool process, and just to be able to give back, to serve. This game is an entertaining game. It's a special game that we get to play. We're all gifted. We all are very blessed to play the game, and to be able to return that favor and to show that love back to people that we care about, or people that we may not even know, but that do matter. I think it's really a cool, special tradition, and I think something that I know for our organization we really take pride in.
The trips that you organized down to, well, you've gone to a few different places, but the ones right before the start of the off-season program. When you're down there, wherever you are, what's a typical day look like from when you wake up to when the day's over?
Yeah, so when we go travel, usually, for preseason, I guess you would say, where we get all the receivers together, tight ends, running backs, and stuff, quarterbacks. Usually a normal day. We get up pretty early. We're probably up, working out by at least 8 o'clock usually to get the day going. And so we'll go work out, we'll run around, and usually we'll have that hour warm-up session kind of thing. And then what we'll do is we'll throw first thing by 9:30 a.m. Throw for about hour and a half, 2 hours, probably almost 2 hours, because there's a good amount of guys. So we'll throw for about 2 hours and have some fun and talk ball and do all that. We'll also watch some film right after that, potentially, depending on what day it is and what we have going on the rest of the day. We usually do that for about an hour. And then a lot of guys like to lift and get to lifting. So really by 1 o'clock, we want to kind of be done with the football part of it, and then from there, as you guys saw, we play basketball at the house or whatever it may be, but we'll do different things like that and just spend some quality time together. And then guys will go shower up and everything else. We'll go out to dinner, go to a ball game. We've gone to Lakers games before. We've gone to Padres games. We've gone to a lot of different things. We've had dinners and all that stuff. So I think that quality time, that spending that time together is always key. But we definitely put the work first. The work, that's why we're there, to put the work in first, and that's always the key.
So I know you did Hawaii the 1 year, but why has Southern California made sense for all the other years?
I think a lot of guys are down there already, for training purposes, or they're here in Seattle. It's easy for the guys. Obviously, up in Seattle, it's a little rainy during that time of the year sometimes, or because sometimes we do it earlier, right before April, and then we do it sometimes in the summer too as well. So it depends on what time of year it is. It just really kind of depends on where guys are, and then just thinking about something fun, something different. So it's been good. Like I said, we've done Manhattan Beach a few times. We've done Hawaii. We've done, just LA. Like kind of near UCLA, USC area, and then obviously San Diego last year. So we've changed it up.
I heard a story about an epic beach volleyball match involving some Olympic beach volleyball players. What do you remember about that?
This year, there's been a couple times, but this past year, we've had some. The last day, we always do something fun where we'll play like beach football or and we'll pick teams, and I'll play safety or corner or something like that, and then we also play beach volleyball, and it's always just a good time just to have some epic matchups and that. You can really get to see who can really play, because it's always really competitive. Because first it will start kind of slow, and the next thing you know, the game is close and guys are smashing the ball in each other's faces and stuff. So it's a good time. We have a blast, and I think that competitive spirit. We've played a bunch of basketball too. Those games are always good too as well. So.
You had a big game against the Rams earlier this season, and you were only sacked once. Just how big was the pass protection for you in that game against that?
Yeah, we did a great job, last game. I thought the offensive line did a tremendous job with pass protection and then obviously running the football and what we were able to do. We know these guys in the sense that they got tremendous players up front. I mean, unfortunately for us, we got to play them twice a year up front just because their defensive line up front is really, really special. We've done a great job against them, and I think that they're going to make their plays just because they got Clay Matthews, they got Aaron Donald, they got Fowler, they got Brock Ursch, who's a tremendous player. I mean, they got a lot of great talented players. So we know that, but we also know that it's going to be a tough matchup. It's going to be a battle. We're looking forward to it. I believe in the guys up front. I know the 5 guys we got up front are tremendous, and they can do a great job. So it's going to be a great game.
What's Joey Hunt done for you since Britt got hurt?
Well, I think first of all, to have Joey step in, and like I've said to you guys, he's been one of the smartest guys in the building, since he's gotten here. His work ethic is tremendous. He actually has a locker right next to me, so we get to spend a lot of quality time together, go to Bible study together, do a lot of different things together. And I remember it was last year, right? I mean, I feel like we played so many games, but last year when he stepped in the Cowboys game, he did a great job in that game and just against a tough front. So ever since he's been able to be in the game, he's a calm in the storm. He's a guy who really recognizes things. He does a great job with protection. He's really confident. If he ever does get beat, he's coming back, and he's coming back with vengeance. So it's always just really cool to be a part of, be with a great player like him. He's really confident. I really love that about him.
Has it been relatively seamless in the calls like you would with Britt?
Yeah, I think, Justin, Britt, and Joey, both of those guys are extremely smart. So they work hand in hand all the time. And so we've spent a lot of time together, a lot of film together, those 2 guys. We spent a lot of time in the room together just talking ball and talking protections and everything else. So it's very seamless. Joey knows what he's doing, that's for sure. And obviously Justin did too.
Yesterday, Pete was asked about how much fun this team likes to have, and then somebody asked, well, how much does that have to do with, you and Russell? And he says, well, I don't know if Russell's going to like this, but I don't know if I think of Russell as the fun maker. Would you object to that?
No, I would not. I'm not the guy to. I laugh and have fun and have a good time, but that's not my first priority. My first priority is to win. And I know that's coaches too. We do it in very similar ways. I think our personalities are very similar. But when it comes down to it, what I think is fun is winning. And so that's at the end of the day. That's why we came here for. That's why people like us. That's why they don't like you if you don't. So the reality is that's what I've always understood about playing this position. And so I do have fun playing the game though. I love the game. I love winning. I love throwing touchdowns. I love whatever it takes to win. That's what I really love. And then you have when I have fun, it's because I'm grateful just for the people I get to be around. This organization, Coach does a great job. Our whole organization is tremendous at it. And so it's a blast, it's a blast. That's where my fun is. I may not be the one always laughing, but I'm grateful that I'm here, that's for sure.
Bobby was talking yesterday about one of the reasons he thinks this team is good on the road is how close this group is.
Yeah.
We've heard Pete talk about that over the course of the season. Was there a point that you noticed that this particular group of players has that bond?
I think that, I've noticed that since really OTAs, the beginning of this year. I just think that it's been really cool just seeing the transition. Obviously, last year, a lot of people didn't think we were going to be very good. They said they were going to be 3-13 or 4 and whatever. And we were able to overcome all those naysayers and stuff. And I think that reality of that is that brings confidence. 1, I think 2, it brings fellowship, it brings community, it brings guys together in such a great way because it's really you against what everybody else is saying or what they may think. And the thing about this game is it's not about predictions. This game's not about predictions. It's not about what people may think or may not. It's about going out there and finding a way to win. And I think that's what we've been able to do. I think, as I kind of mentioned a little bit about having fun, I think when you win and you know how to win, you know how to create winning habits, that's when all the fun and all you're able to relax in the moment. You're able to relax through the storm. You're able to relax through the high moments and the low. And to be able to have balance in all of that, I think, creates a sense of togetherness in a way. And I think that when we go on the road, we're able to establish that. We're able to build on that and grow that. And it's always fun because when we go, especially on those long trips, when we're flying those 5.5-hour flights, as you guys know, there's no internet sometimes. It's always just a good time just to be with each other. And I think that bonding moment of just being with each other is always great. You get to spend 2 days in the city, really 3 essentially, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so that's always great, and just getting together and talking ball and getting ready to play.
You said earlier that you think you and Coach Carroll are pretty similar personality-wise. In what ways?
Well, I think we're very similar. 1, I think, we're very competitive. I think Coach Carroll and I are super competitive people. We love that. I think that's part of our philosophy in a way. Just whenever we do, we just want to be great at it. I think he's a great coach in that sense. He's consistent every day. I think that we're similar in our approach mentally. I think that we definitely share the same rhythms, and if you guys were able to kind of just see us and talk, be around us a lot, I think that you really notice that. I think I think for us, especially when the game's on the line, a lot of people tend to tense up, and we relax. I think that's a key point for us. And then I think that, like I said earlier, we love the game, and this is what we love to do. We love playing football. He loves coaching it. I love learning, and I think that you put a lot of your time and life into this game, and we run around and have a lot of fun while we get to do it, and it's always cool to do that.
Why not you? Something your father used to say to you?
Yeah, it's something that my dad used to always tell me when I was younger. Son, why not you graduate early? Why not you play pro football, pro baseball? Why not you? Why not you? It was a fundamental question that kind of drove my life, to be honest with you, in a good way. And I think, to be honest with you, it's a fundamental question I think that we all have to ask ourselves at some point, either subconsciously or consciously. We ask that question, and I've noticed that with a lot of different people, a lot of people who've been successful, a lot of people who are maybe going through something, whatever it may be, and and so I think that it's been a blessing just to be able to create the Why Not You Foundation with me and Sierra, and just to be able to do that has been really, really cool. And the legacy we were able to start building with that, and with so many young kids, and it's been a blessing with that. And I think it's also a question it's very clear. It's, man, why not me? It's kind of like how do you build a why not you attitude? It's one of the things that Sierra and I always say. It's kind of, we want to teach kids how to have a why not you attitude, and I think that's, Sierra, for example, a girl from Decatur, Georgia, didn't really have many dance lessons or singing lessons or anything like that, and she is who she is today. I think for me, being 5'11", people tell me I wasn't going to make it, and I just I really believe in that. It's a lot of life, a lot of overcoming life too as well, and overcoming people's opinions and thoughts is your attitude and your mentality and what you ask yourself in tough moments and in the high moments too. And so I think that's something that's fundamentally driven both of our lives.
Do you remember what age you were roughly? Like, is he saying that to you when you were in grade school, or is
yeah,
that
he's saying this. Yeah, my dad used to talk to me probably when I was about 6 or 7 years old, when I really could understand what he was saying and what he meant. And my dad always gave me vision. My mom too. That's the one thing that if I could think about what my parents gave me, they gave me vision. They painted a picture for me. And I think one of my things that I've always really believed in is painting pictures for others. Painting a picture for where they can go and what they may not even see. And what they may not even believe. I think to be able to paint a picture for a person to believe in themselves and believe in us and believe in myself. To paint a picture for myself and where I was going to go when I was 6 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old, 18 years old, 21 years old, 23 years old, when I got here, it's, I've always believed in writing it out, I always tell young kids, when I do camps and stuff like that and different things, they always ask me, what could you, what would you tell, our kids, or what would you tell us, or whatever it may be. And I said, if you want to be a movie star, right, let's just say you want to be a movie star. If you want to be a movie star and you want to go see the new movie, let's just say you want to go see Chris Pratt in the new movie, you want to be like him or whatever, and the movie, you want to go see the new movie he's in. Well, you got to figure out, okay, first of all, where's the movie theater? What time does the movie start? Okay, I got to go figure out how to get to the movie theater. Then once I go get my tickets, okay, then I get into the movie. I'm going to watch him. I'm going to see, okay, well, why did I love him in this movie? And then you're going to start processing and hoping that you can be that one day. And then as you continue to watch him over the years, you're like, well, man, I can do that. And I think that you have to write out what you want to be and who you want to be and why you want to do it. I don't think it just happens, Success doesn't just happen. Success leaves clues, and I really believe that.
Your performance team, as you put that together, was there a template that you looked at, somebody else that had done that, or how did that come about?
No, that's a great question. I think, for my performance team, West East Performance, what we did really was, I met Janet, my PT, in 2013. We won the Super Bowl, and she was working on my arm and all that kind of stuff, and we were working together. I was down in LA training at the time, and and funny thing is she was from she had a place in Seattle at one point. She lived in LA at the time, and I told her at the time I didn't have enough, and I was only making, but I was making $450,000, which to American standards that's a lot, which I was grateful for. But the reality is, compared to everybody else and having a full-time person, I couldn't hire a full-time person like that. So fast forward, I told her, I said, one day I want to be able to hire you, and we kind of laughed about it and said, yeah, maybe that'd be cool. And, so I always kind of kept in touch with her and worked with her or whatever. And so, I always knew I wanted a PT just because I believe that the best thing I can do is be available, is be on the field. And so that was a big part of it. The second thing was I knew I was going to travel. I was going to move around a lot in off seasons and working with awesome brands and wanting to travel and loving to travel and working with people and working with kids and all that stuff. I knew I was going to be moving. So, like I always say, is that the reality is you got to keep the main thing. So the reality is that training was going to be the key part for me, and making sure no matter where I go, no matter what hotel I'm in, where I am in the country, no matter where I go, at the end of the day, I got to train first. And everybody knows that. That's kind of my thing. Like I'm gonna get up early, and I'm gonna make sure I train. So that's kind of like the first thing. So Decker, I ended up hiring Decker and worked with him, and been working with him for years now, and he's been awesome. And I believe in massages and all that stuff too. So I have a full-time massage person, and obviously the chef part, and the nutritional part's been actually the most significant part that I've really. All that's significant, don't get me wrong, but I think the nutritional part has been probably the part that I've had to learn the most about. Growing up, I didn't have much. I was, I just eat whatever, and and as you're younger, you can do whatever. As you get older, you have to start being more strategic. Like, okay, I can't eat this, I can't eat that, and figuring out what I'm allergic to, what I'm not allergic to, all those different things. So I've really dived into that process over the past couple of years, and I think it's really helped me a lot. So all those things I think are critical. And then obviously for the past 10 years, I've been working with Trevor, my mental coach, and been with him for 10 years. And that I believe is the most significant part, because I think that for me, I believe that's what wins games. I think that's what keeps you sane in this position too. And all the tough times, and all the great ones, you got to be able to have balance, and I think that's really crucial.
Your day-to-day work with your physical therapist, what does that look like?
What does that look like, or like how long you mean?
Yeah, and what does it entail?
It depends, really, honestly. It just depends on how I'm feeling, whatever. But basically, I always work on my arm, every day, pre-practice, post-practice, a few times a day. I'm working on my body, work on my feet. I always want my ankles to be super mobile. I always want my hips to be able to move, and so I can stop and start and change direction and all that. All those things are crucial. And then, you're getting hit, so you're, in the game. So sometimes, whatever you're feeling like that day, you gotta get work on.
How did you avoid, or what measures did you take to avoid the flu outbreak last week?
I don't know. I hydrate a lot. I think that's a big part of it, just making sure that, you wash your hands a lot, all that stuff, because I'm touching the football all the time. So I don't know who's over there sick or not, in the bathroom, whatever it may be. So I was just fortunate not to get it. There's a lot of guys that have gotten it, unfortunately. We had 9 guys last week. I think we've had a couple, maybe even this week, potentially. I don't know. So it's just been a thing that's been going around for whatever reason.
And one more on the PT. What was this team's reaction to you bringing in your own person?
Say again?
What was the team's reaction to you bringing in your own physical therapist?
They were great. I brought the whole performance team in and talked to them about, this is my goal. My goal is to play as long hopefully to 45. And this is my vision. I'm a very clear person. I have, a whole vision on what I want to do and how I want to do it. So kind of, brought, Sam, and, Sam's great here, our head of health and wellness here, brought him in the room, strength and conditioning staff, everybody just said, hey, the reality is I can't, when I'm here at the facility, it's, I'm usually meetings, I'm doing this, doing that. When I go to the off season, especially with the CBA and all that, you really got to be able to take care of what you need to take care of on your own. And that's just the reality. And so how do you do that? How do you build, if you want to build a business, you got to do it every day. It's not just, okay, I'm going to leave it for 6 months and then I'm going to work again for another 6 months. No, it's got to be an everyday thing. And so really kind of just painted that picture for them. And they were all on board. They know that, I love the training room, the strength staff here. We all work together to make sure that I'm feeling great and everything else. And I think that was a big part of it. So the team was great.
How many massages per week are you up to now?
It just depends, honestly. Probably every day, pretty much. Yeah, do something.
Anything else? Thanks, Russ.
Thank you guys. Go Hawks.